Ladies and gentlemen, the DMK has taken a strong position when it comes to the Uniform Civil Code. In fact, earlier in the day, Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu essentially hit out at the Bharatiya Janata Party, saying that they are essentially taking a revenge on those who are not coming in support of the party. Joining us on this broadcast is DMK parliamentarian Mr. P. Wilson. He's also a senior advocate. Mr. Wilson, thank you very much for speaking to Republic TV. Let me straight away begin by asking you, as a part of the parliamentary panel, and also the fact that you've been representing your party on the UCC, let me first begin the objections that have been raised by your party. You say that this is an attempt to bring in the communal divisive policies of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Mr. Wilson, as a senior advocate, don't you think you're basically making this is a reductionist policy of your party and perhaps bringing in this into a binary of Hindus and Muslims, but the Uniform Civil Code is much more than that?
Sir, I think this Uniform Civil Code, which you understand, is not the correct understanding. The Law Commission, which was given the task of consultation in 2016, has gone in depth into all the personal laws of all the religions. And ultimately, it has stated that it is neither necessary nor desirable. This was submitted in 2018. After it has been submitted in 2018, now the Law Commission, takes up the new Law Commission, that is 22nd Law Commission, takes up the task of, hearing it again. There was no necessity, to go into these issues again when already a retired judge of Supreme Court has gone in depth and given a report. He has submitted a consultation paper on this issue. So therefore, we feel that at this juncture where we are going to face the election for another within 10 months or so, there was no necessity for the union government to go into this issue. Particularly, there are a lot of issues which the government is facing and is not in a position to answer. So that is what we have taken a stand right from the beginning. This is not a new stand. This was taken even by our late Kalanja when he gave his support to Vajpayee, that this Uniform Civil Code will not be brought at any cost because it is going to eradicate the diversity, and people are happily living. What is the fault? Who asked you to bring it? Did any particular religion complain to you? I'm asking a question whether even the Hindu people, did they give any complaints? So therefore, when after inquiring all these religious organizations and a report is available, what is the necessity to reopen this issue?
Mr. Wilson, let's take it one by one, the brass tacks of it. You say that this is more about one particular community, one particular religion. In fact, some say that within your party, the argument was that why don't you bring in for the Hindus first, and then perhaps we'll talk about the other religion. But the argument that I am putting forth is perhaps what our framers of our constitution had basically argued. Some within had also argued against it. But the fact of the matter is that some say that this is about national integrity, gender equality. Are we really ignoring all of those issues which as a progressive society we must be looking into?
Sir, again I would say this is again a misconception and misunderstanding. The framers of the constitution never said like that. Kindly read what Dr. Ambedkar said and what Mr. Poker Bahadur said. They have gone in depth and they found that unless there is a unanimity, unless there is a consensus, this cannot be brought in. Now, particularly, why should you keep this under the directive principles of state policy? If really the Constituent Assembly, because they wanted this to be made as a fundamental rights, they would have brought in under Part 3 or any other provisions. They have kept it separately under Part 4. Number one. Number two is, if you see the Uniform Civil Code, Article 44, it clearly says that the entire country should be brought with a common civil code. That is the real intention. If you want to really see that, that is the real intention. Now, kindly see sixth schedule and Article 371, capital A to capital J. Now, under the Constitution, so far as the northeastern states are concerned and tribal peoples are concerned, certain protections is given to their religion. I have gone, to all the states and all. Of course, in my parliamentary duty, I have gone. But if you go and see there are customary courts to enforce the customary laws. So how will you, overcome these constitutional provisions? Okay, now after this issue has surfaced, I think the minister himself, some minister has come and said that let it not be applied to the tribal. Then what do you mean by Article 44? When you are going to say that Article 44 has to be applied to all citizens, now you are coming and saying, let us keep the tribals away. Now, is this the view of the Law Commission? So how can, therefore, there is no planning at all. You are not taking all the stakeholders, into confidence. You are not doing the consultation. Already, the consultation has been made, and they have made it very clear that it is not desirable nor necessary. Then why is that you stick on to that and you are making the present law commission to go into? I will ask you one straight questions. They have in the consultative papers in 2018 said certain personal laws requires overhauling. Have you done or have you taken any steps to see that these personal laws, can be amended or can be overhauled? Nothing has been done. Therefore, this projection of this UCC is only to terrorize the people. Already Manipur is burning. What have you done? You're not able to control, you're not coming out openly. So therefore, this is unnecessary at this point of time. And there is no requirement at all. If you want, you can amend the existing laws. And gender equality and all other things have already been taken care.
Let me ask you this question not as a representative of a political party, but as a legal luminary from the state of Tamil Nadu. You do make a mention of the framers of the Constitution and also talking about the fact that what B.R. Ambedkar had to say, but largely some comments that came in from Nazaruddin Ahmed with regards to against the UCC. But what I want to talk about specifically, since you made a mention of the fact that how exactly the Law Commission looks into it, but I also want to refer to what the several courts in our country had to say, starting with in the Shabado verdict, where in 1985, this is what it was said by the Supreme Court. Common civil code will help the cause of national integration by removing desperate loyalties to laws. The Delhi High Court makes a mention on 7th of July 2021 while hearing the applicability of a Hindu Marriage Act 1955. And this is what the Delhi High Court, Mr. Wilson, they had to say. UCC ought not to remain a mere hope. One last I want to also talk about the very fact that we have seen it has been implemented in Goa. Of course, it's an extension of the Portuguese Civil Code, but this is what the Supreme Court had observed. And they said there has been no attempt to frame a uniform civil code applicable to all citizens of the country. So as a legal luminary, Mr. Wilson, can I then ask you, the reason why I'm again and again referring to this, how are we really letting go gender equality coming in with the help of uniform civil code? And then of course we can get into specifics of why not having uniform civil code can have its own problems. But I have read out a few of the observations made by the Apex Court as well as the Delhi High Court, and within your fraternity also the arguments that have been put forth. So I'm asking you this question as a legal luminary, not as a representative of a political party.
Thank you, sir. See, first of all, judgment cannot be read as a statute. A judgment is a precedent for what it has decided. If you see TMA Pai's case, the strength of TMA Pai's case is 11 judges. I will read one thing, paragraph number 158, but it's a long paragraph. What they ultimately say is, the 1 billion population of India consists of 6 main ethnic groups and 52 major tribes, 6 major religions, 6,400 caste and subcaste, 18 major languages, and 1,600 minor languages and dialects. The essence of secularism in India can best be depicted if a religious map of India is made in a mosaic, where the aforesaid 1 billion people are the small pieces of marble that go into the making of a map. Each person, whatever is her language, caste, religion, has is her individual identity, which has to be preserved so that when pieced together, it goes to form a depiction with the different geological features of India. These small pieces of marble in the form of human beings, which may individually be dissimilar to each other, when placed together, is a systematic manner produced a beautiful map of India. Each piece, like a citizen of India, plays an important part in making of the whole. The variation of the colors as well as different shades of the same color in a map is a result of these small pieces of different shades and colors of marble. But even when one small piece of the marble is removed, the whole map of India would be scarred and the beauty would be lost. Now, please see Article 29. The Article 29 deals with the distinct script and culture which has to be, preserved. This Article 29 allows these minorities to preserve their culture, and this is one of the fundamental right. Likewise, Article 25, if you see, that the right to possess religion and propagate religion is also guaranteed. Now, please see, these are all the fundamental rights. So how will you now overcome these powers or the rights which flows from the Constitution? Even if you see customs, Article 13 saves the customs. If everyone thinks that only the minorities are proposing this, are against this UCC, with great respect to you, sir, the Hindu undivided families are going to be affected. No one knows the danger that is going to cause. And if you go into that, you are going to put everyone into a single hodgepodge. This will cause a very unrest, not only unrest among the people in this country, but is too dangerous. So therefore, as a person from the legal background, I find that not only the constitutional rights is going to offend the constitutional rights, but also it will take away certain rights that have been created by various personal laws.
But Mr. Wilson, as a counter, I would like to say this to you, that there is a presumption that bringing in the Uniform Civil Code is only targeting one particular community and perhaps allowing one community to flourish. I believe that the entire argument is flawed, but I also want to respond to what you had said in the beginning, that it's part of a directive principle. Haven't other directive principles also been enforced? Now, for instance, the Child Labour Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986, prohibition of slaughter of cows and bullocks get their sanctity, Workmen Compensation Act, Minimum Wages Act, Industrial Employment Standing Orders Act, aren't they all based on the directive principles? So why not exactly the UCC? And why, once again, Mr. Wilson, I'm asking this question. I understand political parties have to take their position because they have their own vote banks to look after. If the BJP is looking after one particular vote bank, so are you. But then, as a liberal society, as a society which is guided by constitutional values, I've listed out several of the, acts that have been enforced through the directive principles. I want to understand why are political parties again and again bringing this and making this an issue about Hindus and Muslims?
Sir, that is what your understanding about this issue. I'm sorry, again and again, you are only revolving upon the Hindus and Muslims problems. It is not a Hindu-Muslim problem. The problem is for the Hindus also. Please understand. This will affect even the Hindu undivided family. Now, for example, the Times Now group is run by a Hindu undivided family. Tomorrow, you are going to land in problems. That is the only issue. You should understand it is not boiling down to particular religion or a particular caste. This is going to affect the whole of all the religions. That is why I'm saying. Another question you asked is, when it is kept in the directive principles of state policy, why not be legislated like any other articles? Sir, true. Certain articles, the state has got power to bring in a law. And the laws are to be subject to being tested before the constitutional courts. But so far as the UCC is concerned, the framers of the constitution itself, they made it very clear that unless there's a consensus, then only you can apply it uniformly to all citizens in India. Please read Article 44 again. Now, if you are going to say that we will keep away this tribal people outside because one minister has come now. Today he has, we can see his statement that is in public domain. So then what is the intention of Article 44 then? So therefore, you are keeping away tribal people because we are, resisting that, and we have come down heavily that it is going to take away the rights under Article 371, capital A to J, as well as the sixth schedule. Now you make a statement openly. It is not even made by the law commission, which is seized of the matter. I don't know how can a minister come and make a statement when the law commission is seized of the matter. And parallelly, the Honorable Prime Minister also is making such statement that all have to support the UCC. What is the stand taken by the Prime Minister and the stand taken by the Minister? That shows that, they have not applied their mind exactly into Article 44. What is the ramification? Sir, there are a lot of provisions in the Constitution, sir. And what all you have implemented.
Right.
So merely because it is there in the Constitution doesn't mean that, you should not see the pros and cons when it is going to be implemented. So this framers of the Constitution, when they make it very clear, it is subject to unanimity. Why is that you sit upon, and particularly when the Law Commission 2018 report is there, and why do you want to reopen
Got
it?
your point.
What is your answer for reopening it, sir? Did you ask them? Did you ask the Law Commission why they do this exercise? How much of money has gone into it?
Okay.
2018 it is completed. For 2 years they have done it. What is the
okay, Mr. Wilson, just
this,
one final
hearing?
quick question I want to take with you. Mr. Wilson, I'm sorry, I'm sorry because we're running short of time, so I want to just take one short question from you, and that is the argument that you are saying that bring all the stakeholders together, build a consensus. Can we then see this as an opportunity for perhaps at some stage looking at a form of uniform civil code once all the consensus is built, and perhaps the DMK could actually come on board if it actually benefits every community? Is there a silver lining?
Sir, you are putting words into my mouth, sir. Sir, that what the constituent makers said, that is what I highlighted. They themselves felt that this can't be implemented. So, therefore, when the constituent assembly makers, they themselves felt that it can't be implemented,
Right.
why is that you take upon this matter after 73 years, the constitution came into force? Why unnecessary waste of time, sir? Sir, we have a lot of problems. What did you do in Manipur? You are able to control any problems in Manipur. People are happy, sir. Allow them to be happy. You are injecting fear into the minds of each and everyone, including the Hindu people. That's what I said.
Okay.
You are saying something which is going to affect you. Please understand, your rights is very important, supreme, and we are here to safeguard that. And that is what we foresee some problem in that. And we are telling you, not only you, sir, but all of them in this country. Why you can go ahead with many other things. You had promised many things in your manifesto. You go ahead with that merely because elections are nearing. You wanted to inject fear. Sir, are you there?
Right. Mr. Wilson, thank you very much for putting this into perspective. And once again, thank you for coming on Republic TV.
Sir, are you there? It's over?
Mr. Wilson, we just got done, sir.
Disconnect myself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It went live, sir. It went live.
So shall I disconnect myself?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's
Shall I
done.
log
It's done.
out?